Polymorphism means poly means many. Poly means many. Morphism forms or ways or actions, anything you can consider. Okay, one in many forms. That is called polymorphism. For example, if you see, if you see Dashavataram movie, have you seen this? Okay, so here he is the person, Kamal Hassan, who is playing a different roles or different situations, right? That is called polymorphism. Means person is same, playing a different roles in a different situations. Got it? So that is called polymorphism. One in many forms, right? So how we will achieve polymorphism? What are the different types of polymorphism we have? So we have two types basically. Okay. So what are the different types of polymorphism? Types, two types. One is compile time polymorphism. So this is one type. Another type is runtime polymorphism. So compile time polymorphism will also call it as compile time polymorphism. We'll also call it as early binding or static binding or early loading. Okay. So runtime polymorphism will call it as a late binding or dynamic binding or late loading or dynamic loading. Okay. Or dynamic loading. Okay. We'll call like that. Now, polymorphism, we have two types. One is compile time. Another one is runtime. Compile time polymorphism will also call it as early binding or static binding or late binding or dynamic binding. Okay, late binding or dynamic binding. Now, early binding, how you will achieve early binding? With the help of overloading. So late binding or dynamic binding we can achieve with the help of overriding. So now overloading, overriding. So again overloading there is two types. One is operator overloading and another type method overloading. So these are all the two ways to achieve overloading. One is operator overloading, another one method overloading. These are all the two ways to achieve overloading. And overriding we can achieve with the help of method overriding. Okay. Polymorphism. What is polymorphism? One in many forms. Okay. So we have two ways. Okay. So two types of polymorphism we have. So what is that? One is compile time polymorphism, another one runtime polymorphism. So compile time polymorphism, what is compile time polymorphism? We'll also call it as a early binding or late binding. Runtime polymorphism, sorry, compile time polymorphism, we'll call it as a early binding or static binding or early loading. Runtime polymorphism, we'll call it as a late binding, dynamic binding or late loading. So next, how you achieve compile time polymorphism with the help of overloading, right? Runtime polymorphism we can achieve with the help of overriding. So overloading also there are two ways. One is operator overloading, another one is method overloading. Runtime polymorphism we have only one way, that is method overriding. Understood? This is how polymorphism will work. What is polymorphism? One in many forms. So we have two ways, compile time and runtime. Compile time will also call it as early binding or static binding or early loading. Runtime polymorphism will call it as a late binding. We can achieve with the help of overriding. This we can achieve with the help of overloading. Let's see practically how this will work. Okay, now what I'll do, I am going to use Visual Studio 2022, whatever version I need. What is the folder name? Add folder. I'll give it as a polymorphism. Okay, now here we'll be having on main method. Let's change that. Okay, so I am going to create one polymorphism folder, right? So I am going to create one more folder called overloading. Inside the overloading, two ways. What are that? One is I'll create a class operator overloading. Okay, let's see how operator overloading will work. I'm going to create two methods, public static void operator overloading. We are going to make as method or add index int y. Console.writeLine x plus y. I am going to create one more method similarly like this. One more method. So here also method name add no. Okay, here instead of int, I'm going to give the string. Okay, here just integer, here it is a string. Okay, now two methods I have, right? I'm going to create one main method, static void main. So since it is static method, I can call directly, right? So I'll call the add method. I'll pass numbers 10 and 20. So another method, add new. I'll pass 10, 20 like this. Console dot read or read key like this. Okay. Now, okay, console reader, read key. Now I have two methods, add and add new. So both the places I am giving values 10, 20, 10, 20. Okay. Now let me run this. So it came here, main method, right? I do F10, F11. Let me go to the method. Now what is the values of X and Y? X is 10, Y is 20. What it is doing, plus it is doing. What is the result? X plus Y, 10 plus 20, which is 30. So another case, string X, string Y. What is the values of string X? 10 and 20. Here also it is doing plus. What is the value output came? 1020. Why? Because values are same both the places, 10, 20 only. But here it is doing the addition. Same operator doing the concatenation here. It's not doing the addition. Why? Because based on the operands. What are the operands? X and Y are the operands. Right? Operands type. Based on the operands type, it is deciding do I need to do the addition or concatenation. So if the operands are numeric type, it is doing the addition. If operands are string type, it is doing the concatenation. This is how overloading will work. This is operator overloading. Okay. So this is operator overloading. Same operator playing different role on different situation. Correct? Now we'll see how method overloading will work. What is method overloading? So I'll add a class method overloading example. So in this method overloading example, what I'm going to do, I'll have a two methods. What is that? Public static add index void add index comma int y. So here, what is the method? Y type method. Why Y type? No need to return anything. And I gave the static method. Why static method? I could able to access without object reference. And the access modifier I gave public. Here you can give whatever access modifier you want. So what is the default access modifier for method? Anybody? Anybody else? Any other answers? Public. Only one vote. How many votes for public? How many votes for internal? How many votes for protected? How many votes for protected internal? Don't put nota. Vote. Okay. Yes. Come again. What is the default access modifier of a method? Access modifiers class completed. Protected who? Uh, two votes. Vignesh. Nota. Rajesh. Access modifier class completed. Test also written. Right? What is the default access modifier of a method? Hmm? Nobody told right answer. Nobody told right answer. So means what? I mean, there must be one access modifier by default. What is that? Private. For method and property field. If you don't give any access modifier, by default, it will consider as a private. You could able to access only within the class. Okay. For class, what is the default access modifier? What are you practicing? Hmm? Test also done. Hmm? Default access modifier of a method property field will be private. Anything private. Class is internal. Okay. Class by default internal. All other things are private. Okay. So now static void main. So I have two arguments, integer x, integer y. So what it do, since it is a void type, so I'm going to do addition of 0, 1 is 2. So here x, y, x plus y, like this. Like this I'm going to do. Okay. Now this is method with some signature. What is method overloading? I have to create same method, right? Within a class, I have to create one more method with same name. That is called method overloading. Okay. So what I do, I'm going to create one more method with same name, right? What it is this? There is error. What is this? Method overloading example means this class already has a definition with add with same parameter types. What it is saying? Same parameters type means if different parameter it will allow. Correct? So what we'll do? So different parameters. What are the possible ways we can do? Same parameters only it won't allow. But we can create what is the method overloading? We have to create a method name with same name. So same parameters it's not allowing. So different parameters, let me try. So what are the different ways? I'll do here int x, int y, int z I'll give, right? So here we have two arguments. Here we have three arguments. So what is this? Number of arguments are different. Correct? Number of arguments are different. In this case, we can do the overloading. Correct? Is it allowing? Yes. So here two arguments, here three arguments. Not only integer, it can be a string, double, decimal, whatever it may be. Right? Number should be different. Okay. Second case. So if I try to copy one more time, it'll again give me the error. So what I'll do? So one thing I'll change it to float. So here what is different? Type is different. So here all are integers. Here one is one variable is one parameter is type. Type of arguments are different. Correct? In this case also it is allowing overloading. So I'll try to copy one more time. Again it should give me error. So what I'll do now, I'll just move the position. So I'll just move the position like this. Okay, here type 3 order of arguments are differ. Okay. So these are all the three possible ways we can do the overloading. Okay. Type 1 number of arguments are different. Here we have two arguments, here we have three arguments, right? In this case, it is allowing overloading. Second case, here all the values are integer type. Here, first two x and y are the integer, z is float. In this case also, it is allowing overloading because type is different, correct? So another case, I have a same type but different order. Okay, either I can move to starting, middle, somewhere. Okay, so different possible scenarios, right? So in this case also we can do the overloading. This is here. What is the case? Order of the arguments are different. Here integer, integer, float. Here integer, float, integer, or one more way, float, integer, integer, Like this also, you can do the overloading. Understood? Any doubts, guys? So now I will have a main method. So in the main method, so how you call the methods is important now. Okay. First method, if I need to call, how? Add of 1 comma 2, which will call me the first method, right? Two arguments. Add directly, it will go here. Next, for three arguments, we have three methods, right? For example, add of 1, 2, 3. If I give like this, it should go here because all are integer types. So another case, I need float, just give 3f. Another case, float is in middle, correct? 3f, comma 2. Let's see the result. Can you guess what is the result? What is the output of first method? Guess. 1 plus 2, how much? Tell, huh? Confidently. Right. Now, here, one more argument, right? X plus Y plus Z. In US, people will call it as Z also. Okay. 2 is 3. X comma Y comma Z. X plus Y plus Z. So here, float. So like this. Output is 3 plus 3, 6. So here, now guess and tell me what is the output here, because it is a float. What is the output? Sure. Anybody else? Twelve point 6.0. One answer. 12 point kitna? Any other answers? 6.0. Two answers. Two words for 6. Other answers. Okay. Here also we'll get 6 only. If I cross question, answers will change. Okay. Here also we'll get 6 only. Okay. So why I'll tell you. So let's run now. Six. Why 6 here? We are concatenating values with the integer. So if the return type is, all the types are float. So return type is float means we can get the float value. Okay. So this is how we'll get the output. Any doubts here? Method overloading. What is method overloading, Rajesh? What is method overloading? And and Naveen, what is overloading? different arguments. Okay. What is operator overloading? Same operator playing a different role on different situation. Correct? Vignesh, what is polymorphism? Example, types. Runtime polymorphism, we have one more different name. What is that? Compile type polymorphism, we have different names. What is that? Static binding, early binding, early loading. Runtime polymorphism, we have late binding, dynamic binding, or late loading. So static polymorphism. Again, what are the ways to achieve static polymorphism? Overloading. Excellent. Overloading types, operator overloading, method overloading. Okay. So overriding, method overriding. Okay. Vignesh, what is method overriding? Method overloading. You come here. Huh? Come here. Tell me. Come. What is method overloading? Different parameters means what operators? Read here, no? Number of arguments are differ. One case. Okay. Here 2 arguments, here 3 arguments. Type is different. Okay. Here all are integers. Here one is float. Order is different. Integer, integer, float, integer, float, integer. Okay. Sit. Listen carefully. Understood, guys? Any doubts here? Okay. Now we'll move to the overriding. So overloading we can do within single class, right? Same method with different signature. Signature is nothing but this method signature. Okay. So now I'll create one more folder, overriding. Add class For example, I have a class. Class TA or parrot. So what this class will do, parrot will do, it has some functionality called fly. And I'll create one more class, eagle. Just a moment, guys. Now I have a class called eagle. So I will be using deriving this. So what I need, I am deriving from parent. So if you want to make use of this method, okay, either it can be virtual or abstract. Okay, what is abstract we'll see later. So now what I'll do, I'm going to give as a virtual. What is virtual means? It can be override in the derived class. Means you can change the behavior of this method. Okay. So what parrot will do? The bird parrot is flying. Okay. So this is the bird fly. Parrot is flying now. Okay. So for eagle, I want to change the behavior. Eagle also will fly, but it has the capability, the bird, eagle, is flying on top of the clouds. Means all the birds will fly, but below the clouds, not on top of the clouds. Only the bird eagle can fly on top of the clouds. Okay. So now I want to change this behavior. Means here it should be. So if you don't override, what will happen? It will just give you a suggestion. Okay. You can implement a override. You can implement a override. So will it give any error? No. If you don't override. So I will give you a main method. Okay. So now override and new is there. This is for overhiding. Okay. Let's take two methods. Then we'll get easily. So virtual fly eat. The bird is eating. Eat. Here instead of override, I'll use new and give one more method without overloading. Mm, this is virtual walk. So here walk is a virtual method. Here for walk, I don't do anything. Okay. So don't get confused. Okay. So these two has the different behavior. So I don't want to make you confused. Let's see this alone. Then we'll see other things. Okay. So here I have. So what I'll do here, I'll create a object for my base class. Parrot, parrot 1 equals to new parrot, parrot 1 dot fly, parrot base. Okay. This is my base class. So now what is the output? Will it take, will it print parrot or eagle? Which method it will print? Parrot fly only. Okay, correct. So let's run and see. The bird parrot is flying. Base method. If you want to call the base method here, base dot fly, to call base method in derived class. Base dot fly we will use. Okay. So this also gives same output. Base class method it will call here. So now I have another case. This is one case. This is one case. So here what is the output? Can you guess? Hmm? Eagle. Here, eagle. Let me run and see. Eagle is flying, eagle is flying. Why? Because this is important. New eagle. Which class you are instantiating? It will take that class. Okay. Now this is eagle. This is also eagle. This is overriding. In base class, we'll keep the virtual method. In derived class, we'll keep the override method, right? So, and to do the overriding, we need two classes. Virtual class and virtual class. In parent class, we'll give the virtual method. In derived class, we could able to do the override. So only when it is a virtual, then it can be override. Okay. Now, what I do? Uh, So till now you're clear, right? So I'll take one more method. Eat. The bird parrot is eating. So here, instead of overwrite, I will do new small. C# is a case sensitive language. So if I give new, what will happen? So now for eat, plate this. When I give the new, what will happen? Here, same, okay? Parrot dot. Okay, here we'll give the method called eat. Okay. So now what will be the output? See, when we use the new means it's over hiding. New keyword for over hiding. See what will happen. This is parrot is eating means base class behavior. So mm, eagle is flying. Now here parrot is eating. When and here bird parrot is eating. Let's give some space here. సి టైప్. సి టైప్ కదా. అదే. ఇది కాదు. లేదు ఇది. నీది ఇది. Okay. Now, what is new means over hiding means always it is hiding means we are making as always take base only. So for that we will use a new keyword over hiding. So means always take base. Don't consider this. That is the purpose why we do the over hiding. Now run it. Okay. Always parroticity, not eagle. Sorry. In this case, eagle has to come. Why? Couldn't change it. So when this child class is calling, see this case it is parrot. Eat. Here also parrot eat. Here it should be eagle eat. Okay. It is hiding. Means when you call this particular class, obviously this method only has to come. Right? So here when you do the over hiding, instead of child, parent only will call, even though you use a new keyword also, because we are doing over hiding. That's why. Okay. And one more method without any virtual method only. Swim. Parrot can swim. I don't know. Parrot is swimming. So here you don't give anything. Okay. Likewise, swim, swim, swim. Okay. Now, what is the output? So now, so when we use this, what will happen? Now swim. We are not doing overriding or overhiding. Okay. Parity is swimming. Base class method. Parity is swimming. Okay. Why? Because it will always take the base class method. So here, eagle is swimming. So here, similarly like your new, here also parrot swim. Here, instead of child, it will take base only. Why? Because it didn't override or overhide. Okay. So here, eagle will swim. Okay. This is advanced level. Okay. These two things. Okay. So usually in the training, we won't teach. In the interviewers, they will ask like this. Okay. We should be prepared thoroughly. Okay. Understood? Any doubts here? Overloading, overriding, overhiding. Okay. Okay, guys.